Just want to show you my newest Terminator WF handle. WF stands for wrist and forearm. It's basically like my last handle, which really was a great handle. I've just made a few improvements to it to make it even better. The improvements I've made to it are basically things that I've had thrown at me from different arm wrestlers, saying they would like to see this or like to see that. So I'm always trying to improve my products. Now, talk a little bit about the frame. I'm still using 3/4 inch solid steel, using 4 quality heavy duty bearings. Basically most of the parts here are welded on, so it'll definitely last a long time. This one here is actually designed for right hand, left hand. Right now it's set up for right hand. If I wanted to change it to left hand, just take out this pin, just move the link around, put the pin back in place. Just put it back on for right hand. Just hold up. Okay. Now I'll talk about the improvements I've made to it. The handle is the first major improvement. I've had a lot of guys ask me about a flat handle. I've always been told the best way to practice is to use a handle that you can actually lay your fingers across, just like you would when you're arm wrestling somebody. So in this one here, basically it's designed just to lay your fingers flat across. It's only 1 inch thick. So you can either lay your fingers across like that, or else you can bring your thumb around and hold it like that too, whichever works best. But that's the big improvement for this part here. I still use my grip tape. The reason why I go with the grip tape is even if your hands get sweaty, they still stick on there pretty darn good. So you don't have to worry about your fingers slipping off. And if you do wear this out, it's easy enough to rip off and put new tape on, and most sporting goods stores do sell this brand tape, whether it's Wilson or Head. They're both a good brand. And at the same time on this one, if you decide you want to go with the traditional round handle, you can still get this from me too. And I had this designed so that if you wanted to take this off, which is easy enough, just the nut and 2 Allen screws, this comes off, this will fit right on using the same bearings. Now I'll talk about this. I made some improvements to this. I have 4 holes on here now. One's further out, so it's a lot harder than the rest. And I repositioned my first hole. This hole is actually what I call in the neutral position now. Nice thing about that is now when you're using it, there's actually no turning resistance whatsoever. The handle just twists just like any other ordinary handle. But now if you want to increase your resistance, let's just start putting it out in the next hole. Let's go with the second hole. The further out you go, the harder it gets. But what makes this handle so unique as compared to any other handle is that what I've learned is there's actually 2 muscle groups that you use when you practice arm wrestling. And a lot of people don't realize that. You got one group of muscles you use to pull the weight across, which is fine. Say for example I'm using 60 pounds. But then you have another group of muscles, which is in your forearm, that you use to twist it. So you might get one guy that can work out with 60 pounds and be able to twist at 60 pounds okay, but you might have another guy that his wrist isn't as strong, so you might have to put it in a different hole to get it to work just right for you or for that person. So actually you're working 2 separate groups of muscles, and you can actually design this handle or fine-tune it for your own strength. And like I was saying, the further I put it out, the harder it gets. Even though I'm still using, say, for example, 60 pounds, that pulling resistance towards me is still going to feel the same, but the twisting motion, or the hand torque I have here, is a lot harder. And I made this last hole even further out than I have on any of my other handles. This one's basically designed for the Hulk, or the person that thinks they have a Hulk grip. So now you're using 60 pounds. You got to twist it. But I'm guessing most people that are using 60, 70, 80 pounds will not be able to use this hole right here. It would just be too much for them. And that's about all I wanted to say about it. Thanks.